I grew up literally between two worlds. For us, even before we went to school, we would constantly cross the border, like on Sundays, and all day you're with la tia abuela, and you're buying milk in the United States because it's better, or getting gas because it's better, or let's go to the movies in El Paso because in Juarez they don't come out till later and they're in Spanish, and my dad doesn't like it. Even though I grew up between two worlds, what a lot of people don't understand, and what I didn't understand even until I moved here, was the fact that being in the border, both my surface culture and my deep culture, they're represented equally. When I'm with my students, when I see them going through things that perhaps I can relate, maybe not as intense, or perhaps I've never experienced something, when they share very, very personal stories with me, I learn humility. I get to see how, when people say jokingly, oh, the struggle is real. Yes, the struggle is real for that person. I've seen it all. Within my 10 years of working in the college, in the high school equivalency program with migrant and seasonal farm workers, with the GED population, with the 509 population, you need to realize that these individuals are the statistics. The skills that our students have that they may not necessarily know that are skills, like tenacity, resiliency, all of those things you cannot teach in a book. I can't open a math book and see, here, resiliency 101. No. Or tenacity, how not to give up. No. You get that through life knocking you down and saying like, okay. There are certain skills that you will acquire in life through experience alone. My grandmother would say, the things that do happen to you, those are the lessons que van a estar marcadas. Those are the ones that are gonna impact you the most because you're living them, right? When I see my students, I make this analogy that I look at them like they were books. And sometimes it's reading a tragedy. Maybe I'm just reading a chapter, right? Because nothing in this life will last forever. The lesson here is humility. One student, Marvin, he's an older gentleman. He's battling cancer, but yet he comes to school. He used to work third shift. He would rest and then come in and work. And he's so funny because when you ask him, hey Marvin, how you doing? He's like, I could be worse. I didn't know at first that he had cancer. And so it made sense when he would say, it could be worse. I could be dead. When things like that happen, it's like, again, it's like it hits you in the face and you're like, oh my God, why am I complaining? I have my health. And this is a man that's working 2-3 jobs, battling cancer, and still trying to get his high school equivalency because he wants to be a good example for his grandkids. There's a skill in listening to others without judgment. I'm just listening to them. I've had students that they've immigrated from other countries because of war, because of famine, because of lack of opportunities, because of corruption. They want a piece of the American dream, right? Or they value education, but they know that even that is all stacked up against them. They have to learn English. I have several students from the Middle East, from Africa, from Asia, and their first hurdle is learning the language and learning the culture. Now let me throw in all the other 8 subjects that you have to finish, plus whatever obstacles they're facing. A lot of my students are like me. They came to Madison, Wisconsin, and they don't have families. So their friends become their families. With that also has an effect socially and emotionally on an individual, right? I really try to provide a space for the students so that they feel that they're valued, and that if they fail or they succeed, that we got them. It's showing the importance of one caring adult or someone that is rooting for you. Just knowing that someone is there rooting for you and calling you and asking or checking up on you. Once trust is established and when both understand that we're really doing this to help you without getting anything in return, I see them going faster. And so you kind of have to remind them and point them like, you got this, you know? Like, for example, I had a student. She came to me and she was crying, just crying her heart out. And I'm like, are you okay? I thought maybe something happened to her or there was a death in the family. She shows me the test, and it was a fractions test. And she failed it. And then she started telling me, it's like, I can't do this. I'm a failure. I've always been bad at math. And I'm like, okay, sit down. You probably have gone through worse in your life than this stupid piece of paper. This test. What does this test mean to you? Nothing, right? She had shared a very personal story, and I told her, remember when you were telling me that you were struggling with your child and, you know, this, and that? What do you think is more important, that situation or this piece of paper that says that you got a bad grade? And then she, well, Amparo, when you say it like that. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I understand you're frustrated, but don't give up. Don't talk yourself down. Don't say that you can't do it. If you put that type of thought in your head that you're not good enough, yes, you're right. You're not good enough. So you need to flip the script, and you need to realize, I know that you have gone through worse and survived and are here today than this little piece of paper that says that you got a bad grade. Maybe today was not a good day. Maybe you do need to study a little bit more. Or maybe you need to believe that you can do this and just, relax. To learn how to manage rejection, to learn how to manage failure. What do you do when you fail, right? It's okay to cry and it's okay to get frustrated, but then let me help you move forward. What matters is that you set a goal and you finish it, and then from there you move on to bigger and better things. You're not meant to stay here with me. I'm just a stepping stone. You're supposed to use this so that you can launch and, just like Gare Rise, go on to do whatever it is that you want. And we will help you, but you gotta give me a little so that I can give you more. You have that skill. You just need to put it to pen and paper, and you have to believe that you can do it. And if you fail, it's okay. My purpose is to try to help those that may not think that education is an option. What my students don't necessarily know is that they teach me a lot every day. They teach me humility. They teach me courage. They teach me what it is to be resilient, what it is to be tenacious, what it is to finally say, like, no, I got this. I'm gonna do this, and like determination. When they're ready, I can see it in them. Every teacher will tell you when they get how to do fractions, you can see that little light or that little brillito in their ojos, and they're like, okay, you're for real. Okay, you're gonna finish in a year. I love my job, and I love the people that I work with, and I love my students, and I'm so happy when I get to see them graduate, that they're moving on to bigger and better things, and I get to see them walking, like, I got this, and they're so proud, or, I get to see that transformation, and I don't think a lot of jobs give you that benefit. I'm allowed to be part of that space. That was my calling.